As a reminder, PD Health at Home is presented by the Light of Day Foundation, whose generosity has made this programming possible. The Parkinson's Foundation provides weekly education and wellness programs virtually through our PD Health at Home series, including Mindfulness Mondays, Wellness Wednesdays, and Fitness Fridays. As a reminder, all programs are held at the same time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You can learn more and register for these programs by visiting parkinson.org/PD Health. And now I'd like to introduce our PD Health at Home Fitness Fridays facilitator, life coach and fitness specialist, Stacey Macaluso. Stacey has been working with the Parkinson's community over 10 years as a coordinator and coach. She's received many awards for her work and is recognized as the SJ Magazine Woman of Excellence in 2020 and named Game Changer in South Jersey for bringing wellness programming to the local area for the Parkinson's community. Welcome, Stacey. Thank you for being here, and I hope you guys enjoy your Fitness Friday.
Hello, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Just want to make sure that I am heard nice and loud. So wave out there to me if you can hear me and see me. Okay, awesome. Everybody's alive out there. Let me see if I can go back to the gallery. So I would love if everybody would turn on their screen. If you choose not to, I completely understand. But I can be a better coach to you and I can help you more if I can see you. So feel free to turn on your screen. If you've been following me for the month of March, we're going to work on power moves. We're going to review everything that we've done in the past month. So if you haven't been here, don't worry about it. But if you have, you're going to pick up on it very quickly as you've been following this. If you haven't been there, you'll pick up on it quickly anyway. And then we'll start from our chair and we'll go down to the floor. If you don't want to get onto the floor, don't worry. I'll give you modifications for that too. So just a little bit about myself. As you know, I've been teaching people with Parkinson's for over 12 years. I do a lot of life coaching and advocacy work. You can find me on my own website, which is a nonprofit, Mission PD. So feel free to reach out and follow me and come work out with me on another day as well. All right, so let's get started because I know that that's why you're all here, you're all ready to move, okay? So whether we're seated or standing, we're going to start in our chairs. And the reason that I want to do that today is because we spend a lot of time sitting. And I know many of you may say, oh, I really just want to stand up, and that's okay. If you're feeling like you cannot sit down right now, that's fine. You can stay standing. But I do like to explore the seat because there's so much time we spend there. So come into your chair and sit all the way to the back of your chair if you can. If you have a back on your chair, that's going to be very helpful. And I want you to touch the front part of your chest. If you've been following me, you're going to understand and remember this. This is the part of our heart and our chest that we want to lift and open so that our shoulders come back. A lot of times we're leaning forward and we try to lift our shoulders back or lift our head. But what we're really looking for is to lift the upper part of our back and our chest. And as we do that, our shoulders and our head are going to come back with us automatically. All right? So find your hands on your knees and let's just stretch and warm up first. So shoulder shrugs up and down, just loosening up the neck and the head area. We start by stretching, being considerate of every part of the body. Good, and let's do one more. And take your gaze over to the left and the right. And as you start to loosen your head and neck, you can ask yourself, if you've done anything yet today, do you feel stiff? Do you feel tight? Have you already been moving? Are you feeling ready and good to move already? One more. Come back to the center. Now, being aware of where your chin is and your throat being long is really important. We may notice that we drop our head forward and pinch the top part of our chin and our throat where it kind of connects, right at the back of your throat. So lift this up here. Feel that parallel of your chin. Very good. Awesome. That looks good, Joan. And let's drop it down, chin to the chest. So, and then lift up. So if I can see you, I'll help to encourage you when I see you lifting, making improvements. And if I can help you to make those improvements with a little suggestion or guidance, I would be happy to do so. If I can see your screen, it's so helpful. One more time. And up. Now, the lateral stretch of your neck side to side tends to be a little bit difficult for people. So let's just go side to side, like as if we're rocking our head, almost like a metronome that would sit on top of the piano. And let's take the left arm up, the side of your head, and just gently guide your head down to the left. Let's switch. Let the right arm gently come up, touch the side of your left side of the head, and gently guide it down towards the right. Just helps a little bit with the alignment of this stretch. And release. Awesome. All right, now rock side to side. You're not going to get a lot of rocking yet. This is really our second exercise, but our first exercise is our power up. So Power Moves was designed by a physical therapist. It's a physical therapy-based fitness program. And what is beautiful about that is we combine the two of them, fitness and physical therapy, and we help people move better. Let's go forward and back so we understand the different directions that we're going in, whether it be side to side, right, left, east, and west, or forward and back with the force of gravity going north and south. Now, see if you can make that a motion that goes in and around, like as if you were going around the earth, bringing the shoulders over the knees and then the shoulders back over the hips. Make those circles bigger if you can, bringing your belly maybe down to your thighs. Come back and do the other direction. Now, do you remember what I said about shoulders being over the hips? That's a direction that I want you to get to, right? Your shoulders sit right over your hips if your posture is correct. So let's bring it back. And if you're sitting back against the back of your chair, it's very easy for you to align your hips and your shoulders because you can use the back of your chair to feel where that symmetry lines up, okay? Now bring your feet a little closer in, hold the bottom of your chair, and let's just stretch out the legs so that we don't let the legs get lazy because we're going to be sitting here for a little bit longer. All right, just a little stretch out. Doesn't have to come up super high. Good, that's it. Beautiful. Up. And 3 more. And 2. And let's do 1 more. And good. Now, rock side to side a little bit. Loosen up a little bit. Our first exercise in the Power Moves is your power up. Your power up exercise is about gravity, anti-gravity, posture, alignment, position of the body. We talked about the position starting from the earlobe to the shoulder, to the side of your ribs, side of your hips, and that aligns you as you're sitting up tall. Hands are going to go to the knees. We're going to have this forward rocking motion. As we come back, I want the back of your back, if you have a chair, to touch the back of your chair. Your arms are going to extend out wide to the side. So show me that left and right. Long extensions of the arms. And if they're bent a little bit and feel heavy, see if you can lengthen them and make them stretch further. Great job. I saw a few of you make that correction. Very good. All right, let's do it slowly. So we come down forward and we lift and open the arms like a flower petal blooming. Ready? Let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale. Do it again. Breathe in. Exhale out. Good. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. So we can use these seated exercises as our warm-up, which is very easy to do. Take that seat and wiggle forward, moving right to left. Come to the middle of your chair now. Now the back of your seat isn't going to help you. See if you can identify where that shoulder line over your hip is again. Ready? Come forward, right back up over your head. Now, do you have an urgency or a desire, tendency to go back too far? Back? So decide where that line is, right? We don't want to throw ourselves back this way. We want to throw ourselves up. We want to feel like we're lifting and growing rather than throwing ourselves back with our arms, okay? So I wanted to just share that with you in person today so that there was a really good explanation about the power up. The power up is just what it says, power up. So we grow through our spine. We're tall as can be and lengthened out to the side, right? Just like in a lot of our other programming that you may have done, where they say if it doesn't feel too big, big enough, right? So this part of the heart comes up, the arms extend out, and the crown of the head goes tall. Ready? Let's do 5 of them, nice and a little quicker this time, all right? We'll count it out. So the count will go like this. 1, and 2, and. Okay, ready? You'll be counting as well with loud voices, please. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Strong arms. 5, and let's take a break. Good job. Rock again. So you're rocking. Your power rock is about weight transferring. Now, some of us can rotate the head and the neck in this position to look up at that arm. And some of us may have limited mobility in our neck to turn. So that's okay. And if you have a tendency to get dizzy at all, you're going to want to minimize that motion of the head and keep the head just forward. Okay. All right. But there's 3 parts of this, and many people forget some of it. So this front and back part is the first part because we're always going to come back to our center. The second part is a weight transfer to the side, and my knee is going to bend in so my hips go with me. I'm going to reach up with one arm. I can hold the back of the chair, or I can stretch the other arm out. We're going to come back to the center, bend forward. We're going to twist. The left knee is going to come down. The right arm is going to stretch and reach up. You can hold the chair if that feels better. You can reach the arm out if that feels better. Come back here. So why do we always want to come back to our center? This is where our balance is going to come from. This is where our feeling of not having that dizziness or that our head is moving too quickly. Always resetting in our center. So this right here is our power. That's our power. This is our rock. So we come here for power so we can spring up, and then we rock up to the side, lifting our hip off the seat to get that weight transfer. All right. So I wanted to make sure that you understood. Now, there's one thing that people misunderstand. They get this exercise mixed up with another one. We always want to keep the body open and the chest open, right? I don't want you to cross over the arm this time. So this would be looking over your shoulder. That's not the exercise that we're doing. We're doing this open exercise where your chest is open, your heart is open, and we're looking up into the hand. So both arms are pressing back, okay? So be careful that that front arm doesn't come across your face. I see still a couple of you doing that, okay? It's not that it's wrong. It's just it's a different exercise. That's all. All right, ready? Let's go. So we've got this rock. Let's rock. We're going to take 2 rocks, and then we're going to go up to the left. Come down again. Rock. And rock, come up to the right. Now Do it again. Rock, and you're lifting up your left hand to the sky. That's it. And rock, and lift up your right hand. Again, rock, and lift up that left. Again, one more with the double rock so that you really understand how to prepare. Up. Now it gets quicker. Here we go. A rock and lift. A rock, lift. There's 3 parts of this exercise. We're down, up, twist. Down, up, twist. Make sure that back arm is active, right? We want to remember that every part of our body is working here as we move. One more, and up, and good. Come back. Excellent. So we're still in our front half of the seat. Stretch the arms out again, very long, right to left. Now, this long extension, oftentimes our arms will start to get heavy and weigh down. Continue to think of pulling your fingertips to the opposite sides of the room, stretching away from each other. We're going to cross over the right arm to the left. Open. Cross the left arm to the right. And open. Now, are you using your knees? Are you letting your legs come with you? Because when you let your legs come with you and your hips come with you, you have a better rotation. Now, another question I'm going to ask you. As you twist, you turn your face and look towards that wall and come back to the middle. Do the other side and come back. And again. And open those arms wider, longer. Come on. You can do this. You got it. 2 more. Open. 1 more. Twist and open. Hands come down. Very good. Rock a little bit. Let's not get too settled into the seat. Lift your heels. Good job, everyone. So I got about half of you with your screens on. Thank you. And take your feet back. And it's never too late to put your screen on if you want. So feel free if you start to get more comfortable. Okay, we're going to do the power step. This is the one exercise where our legs should be together. Now, I always encourage people to put a couple of items next to their feet. And I'll explain this to you with a couple of weights. And the reason is because very often people have trouble bringing their feet back together. And coming back to our middle and our center and having this alignment, this connectivity with our legs, works the muscles in our legs, works our hips, inner thighs. And we want to be able to bring those legs back together. And sometimes that becomes difficult. So if I have the weights here, well, there's 2 things that happen. One, it forces me to lift my foot up. And it forces me to bring it back real close to my other foot. And if I don't get it there, I'll have another chance to do so. Because I know where my beginning place is, right? So don't compromise the good form or the starting position or doing something the way that you know is right because the exercise is moving too fast. I made up this rhyme. It just came to me. Make up your speed so that you succeed. It doesn't have to be anybody else's speed. It's your speed. So we'll try this in a few different speeds to make sure that everybody can find the speed that they succeed in, okay? The power step exercise is a little bit about rotation and turnout also. So as we lift up this left foot, let's take that left foot over to the left. We want the toe to face the left wall, which means that the hip rotates out, even though this knee is still facing forward. See, so what I'm teaching you too is how your body moves, not just to move, but how we're moving, why your body is moving this way, right? Bring it back. Now your toe faces forward and now your hip turned back in. Squeeze your knees together. Can you create that connection? Feel the muscles working there? Ready? Let's do the right side. Let's lift that one up, take it away. point it to the outside. Feel how the hip opens, the inner thigh stretches, and the muscles around the back of your hip, your stabilizers, and all of those muscles are starting to activate. Ready? Let's bring it back and back. Oops, see, I stepped on my weight. So I knew that I needed to readjust my foot back into the space that it needed to go into. Okay, let's take one of the weights away. Let's do it this way for right now. Take the weight and put it in the middle. Touch your feet to it. Or whatever you have. It could be anything. It could even be the pillow. It could be like this. If you have a pillow, you could hold that. It could be anything. Okay? Or it could just be your feet touching. Take the foot out to the left again. Touch. To the right again. Bring it back to touch. Right? So you want to feel that connection, something drawing you back into the center. Okay, that was the first part of the exercise. The second part of the exercise, the good old rock. Rock front and back to give you that momentum, to give you that spring action into movement. Okay? Did you ever try to jump from straight legs? Of course not. You can't jump from straight legs. We have to bend. We have to bend to get height and jump, right? So without that bend, we're never going to get straight. So we're going to take this bend. We're going to go out to the left with your leg. Your arms are going to follow. See this back arm too. Can you throw up that back arm, Rich? Throw up that back arm. There you go. Good job, everybody. Right? We forget about this back arm. We're going in this direction. Forgot about what's happening back there. So we want to make sure everything activates and lifts up. That gives us symmetry and balance. Let's come back to the center. Here we go. Did your feet come back together? Let's step out to the right. Boom. You have your toe facing the right wall. Your other toe is facing forward. Your fingertips are facing out. Let's come out and spring back to the center. Did you get those feet back together? Come back to power up. So let's try that again. Let's do 10 of them going left and right. And as we do them, let's count backwards from 30 by threes. By 30 by threes. So we're going to start on 30. Ready? Here we go. 30. 27. Nice and loud. 24. What's next, you guys? I can't give you all the answers, can I? You should be on 15. What's 3 minus that? And keep going. Loud. And in. Good. That's it. Open. And back. Awesome, Donna. One more. And power up. You should be done. And lift at 0. So they say that if you count backwards from numbers higher than 20, you have to think about it and your voices will be louder. So give that a try too. All right, grab that other item if you had it. Let's bring it back to the outside of our feet. And I want you to try it the other way. Because now you don't have to step over something. It's going to be harder. Let's give it a try. All right, ready? Knock it down. Open. And back. And open. Good, that's it. 2. Last one. Power up. All right, let's stand up. Today's a day that you're going to feel like standing up. Grab a drink. We're going to come behind our chair, next to our chair, or in front. All right, hydrate up. If you're sitting, stay seated. You're going to repeat what we just did. If you're standing and you don't feel super stable, stand behind your chair. If you feel little stable, little help, next to the chair. If you're feeling like you want to be away from it, just move the chair away. All right? Feet are going to be about hip distance apart. So rock side to side, same thing. Side to side. Now, as you're rocking back and forth, you want to feel how much weight on your feet. Come back to your center. Bend the knees and straighten. Little softening, lift and lower. So there's your lift and lower. Now, as you're standing, see if you can tighten your knees and your glutes. Even if you're seated, see if you could do that. Tighten your knees and your glutes. And now release them. Do it again. Tighten your knees. And release. One more time. Tighten the knees. Even if you're seated, you could do it. And your glutes. All right. Now, when you do that, you can tell that you're standing and feeling the muscles in your legs. You're going to do the same thing when you bend, lift, power up. And up. When you come up, did you tighten your knees? Did you squeeze your glutes? Make sure that you're finishing that movement. Muscles. Ready? Here we go. Power up. Power up. Power up. Power up. Good. Arms big and wide. And up. 3 more. 2. Last 1. And relax. Good. So remember when we did this in the beginning, we talked about not leaning back. So if you have a wall, that will help you to remember not to throw yourself back. We want to think about going, even though the arms are going out, think about going up. Ready? Do 5 more. Here we go. Power up. Lift. Good. 1 more. And let me see 1 more. Good. Very nice. Okay. I'm going to give you guys a correction too. Foot stance. Now, what if you take your feet and just go a little wider for me? Why would I want you to have feet a little wider than your hips? Your feet are wider than your hips. Your face is wider. Your balance is going to be a little bit better. Too wide, no, because it'll be hard for you to take a step forward. You'll have to reposition your feet before you can take a step. So shoulder width, still in a place where you feel that you can walk forward from. So let's practice that, okay? Shoulder width feet. And even if you're holding on, which is great, forward, forward, and back. Forward, and back. Step forward, and back. Now you see how you're rolling into your feet and your toes? 2 more. Roll forward. Now, if you were seated, it would have been the same idea. Reaching that foot forward and bringing it back. Now, from here, rock side to side. If you have your chair here, that's fine. We're going to go into the power rock. The power rock takes you from side to side, but there's something in the middle we dip down and up. So there's this bending and straightening of our legs. Can you tighten your glutes and your knees every time you do that? Now let's take the arm up, down, and up, and down. Remember, your feet are active and moving here. Reach up and lower. Stretch, lift, and lower. Activate the back arm as well as the front arm. Yes, that's it. One more. And back, and let's go to power up. All right, now let's get through these so that we definitely can still get to the floor. So we have this twist all the way over and come back. Twist all the way over and come back. Now, can you see if you can get that hand all the way over to the 3 o'clock and then the 9 o'clock without moving the other arm? Take 2 more. Last one, and come back to your center. Good, and come back to your feet together. Good job. Okay, so as we're going to take this step, I want you to think even more about these feet coming back together. That's a critical piece of this, because in this exercise, as we do power step, if our feet don't come back together, eventually they start getting wider and wider. And then we're standing with them super wide. So we want to really be conscientious of bringing the feet back together. We also want to pay attention to this back arm, right? Because otherwise we're going to have one arm working and one arm not. And if we all know about Parkinson's, right? One side likes to work and the other side likes to be more lazy. So we want to make sure that both sides of our body are being remembered and thought about and worked. Okay, ready? Here we go. Knees are together, feet are together. Let's stand up slowly. Take a big step out to the left. Put weight into the left foot and spring off together. Step out to the right. Off that foot and spring it back together. Ready? Let's go a little faster. Step out, push back, step out, push back. Now, if you're in your chair, you're doing this with me as well. Your feet and knees are coming back together every time, very close. Both arms are stretching out. You're reaching, big step, coming back. 3 more and back. That's wonderful. 2. Last 1, and come back to power up and lift and down. So remember what I told you too. In this exercise, as we start with our feet together, this is not as strong of a balance stance as when we're in all of our other stances, right? We're here. This is the only exercise that comes from this very narrow stance, which can really challenge our balance a tremendous amount. All right, grab a drink. Stay hydrated. We got a few more minutes to go. Okay, now, if you're going to get down on the floor with me, I will help you get down there. You could use a mat, chair, pillow for your knees. If you're not going to get on the floor today, I want you to get back into your chair for this next exercise, because the power up from our back works very nicely on a chair. Okay, so you would be doing this. You would sit to the back edge of your seat. Your arms are going to go straight out in front of your shoulders. As they come back to the back of your chair, you're going to press your chest forward and away from your chair. All that's connected to the back of your chair now are your elbows, and then you're going to reach back out in front. Okay? If you're coming to the floor, I will help you. You're going to stand in front of your chair. You're going to slowly drop one knee down and then the other. And don't be afraid to get down and think that you can't get up, because I will guide you up at one step at a time as well. But if you feel safer to stay seated, please do. Come down to the floor. Walk back on your hands and knees. Take that pillow aside so that you can bring it back underneath of your head and come onto your back. Now, in this first exercise, I'm going to ask you to straighten your legs, please. And if you're seated, I would like you to also extend your legs out so that you don't have a tendency to lift your hips. Everybody's going to reach their arms directly straight out in front of your shoulders. So if you're on the floor, they're pointing to the ceiling. And if you're seated, they're pointing directly out in front of you towards the screen. You're going to bring your elbows to the back of the chair or to the floor. You're going to push your chest up. The only thing that should be touching the floor is your glutes and your head, shoulders, chest, back, everything lifted. Release it and let the arms come back up. Now, this is such a great exercise to do. Practice. If for any reason you have issues in bed and moving in bed, elbows come down to the back of the chair or the floor, push yourself up, release and reach. Elbows down, push yourself up. This is a lot of tricep work. You're feeling a lot of back work, chest extension. 3 more just like that. Reach your arms forward or up longer in front of you each time. Every time you want to think about, did I stretch my arms out all the way? Did I straighten them? Did I have the longest arms I possibly could? Let's bring the hands down and bend the knees. If you're seated, I want you to bend the knees again. All right, everybody's going to rock their knees side to side, whether you're seated or lying down. Good. I can see that some of you are lying down because I can only see your ceilings, which is good. Oh, I can see some of you. There you go. Awesome. Yep. We're all going to be on the floor. May as well go down there and check it out ourselves. All right, here we go. So we're going to keep our knees about hip distance apart. Okay, I want you to be seated on your chair. I want you to hold the bottom of your seat. Push yourself up off the seat like somebody's trying to put a pad underneath of you to make it more comfortable. If you're lying on the floor, you're going to lift your hips up. You're going to put them down. You're going to lift your hips up, put them down. Now, if you have tight hamstrings, it's very common for you to use your hamstrings to lift here. See if you can use your glutes. The muscles in your butt are hard to target if your glutes are weak or your glutes are flat and you've lost a lot of muscle in your glutes. We want to try to strengthen that and tighten that, or you'll use your hamstrings and your piriformis muscle more than you should. One more time. And down. And how did you guys do with lifting yourself off that chair? Not easy with those arms, right? No. Okay. Rock, and we're going to look up like we're going to reach up to turn off our lamp on our bed. Reach up. And again, our chest is open here. So we turn and we reach. Now, the back arm stays on the floor and it can push you. Push you. So remember, you have this hand here to push you over. Back. And do it again and push you over. And back. And over. Back. Do a couple more. Do that, Rich. Excellent. You guys are doing the same thing in the chair. Good job. Power twist, very similar to what we did before. Everyone that's seated, bend your knees. If you're lying on the floor, you're going to straighten your legs. Your arms are going to come out wide to the side like a big T, like you're going to make snow angels. You're going to bend your right knee. Switch. Bend your right knee. Push yourself to twist to the left. Back with your arms open. Drop that leg. Your other knee. Use your foot to push you over. And open. And stretch it out. One leg should always be straight. One leg is going to be bent. Push again. Now, if you're seated, you're doing that power twist, just like we did before. That's it. Good job. Reach those arms. Twist the body. Let your knees be soft. And one more time. Open. So the key to all of this is when we're moving our upper body to not let our lower body be so lazy that it doesn't assist us or it doesn't come with us, right? Because if we're trying to move our upper body and our hips are saying, I'm not playing today, well, the upper body is not going to go as far. If our hips go with us, actually have a better range of motion. So be careful when you're moving that you're actually using all your parts. All right, we got one more thing and then you guys did it today. Another memory of a workout. All right, hands down, arms down. Feet together, knees together, arms touching the body. Now this is our power step. So you're going to take your foot and your arm on the left side off, back on. If you have an imaginary magic carpet that you're lying on. Ready? Here we go. Off, on. Do it again. Off, on. And for you guys seated, you're doing that power step out to the side. That's what my yoga teacher says. Every time that we lay on the mat, it's like our magic carpet ride is about to begin. What are we going to make of that magic carpet ride? What are we going to get out of our workout is what we put in and what we learn and then what we take home with us. Let's do one more. You able to get those knees and feet back together? Get the hand and arm back in. And last one. All right. I think that we're out of time. So let's talk about how we're going to get up. Now, if you're going to roll over and your arm is down, roll over because did you ever try to roll down a hill? If the log is there, you're going to get stuck behind the log. So lift that arm out of the way. And roll over because nothing is in your way. Wasn't that great? And try to push up on all fours, which isn't easy. Do it 2 times. Ready? Let's do it again, just because. Push up. If something is hard to do, 3 times. Once. And then maybe after a few times, it won't be hard anymore. Ready? Let's come up to your chair. 1 foot in front. Big step up. Pushing onto that chair and coming into a standing position. Good job. How's everybody feeling? Does everybody have smiles for me?
Thank you so much, Stacey. This was amazing. I hope everyone did enjoy and is ready to start their weekend with this amazing workout. So thank you so much for sharing your time and your skills with our Parkinson community as well as our Fitness Fridays program. So thank you all for joining.
Pleasure.
As a friendly reminder, you can definitely follow Stacey at mission-pd.org. We'll plug that in on the chat, as well as you'll get a follow-up with some of the links and resources to follow up with Stacey. And if you enjoyed her workout, again, we had her share a couple of these exercises for the month of March. So you could also view them on our website at parkinson.org diagonal PD health. With that, again, thank you, Stacey, for your time. And that concludes today's program. And we always encourage you, if you have any questions or need any information or would like to request copies of our publications that we have, please feel free to reach out to our helpline. That is 1-800-4PD-INFO, or you can email them at helpline@parkinson.org. Thank you again for joining us today, and we hope to see you soon. Bye.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.